Why is there always video evidence of everything that I do? Not sure what's going on out here at the airport. Life flight helicopter, ambulance, fire truck. There is a little plane that just landed. Okay, so this thing has not run probably since last November. And so this is almost, well, we're at the end of March. So, yeah, it hasn't run for 4 months. So anyway, it has had the engine inspection done. It has had fuel drained. So hopefully I'll get the everything primed up. Hopefully it shouldn't be an issue, but we'll let Kimberly record on the outside. I'll take this camera on the inside and we'll see if she wants to fire up.
Exciting.
All right. Turn your battery on. We've got to let the engine monitor fire up and get booted up before we can try to start it, because that has our gauges that will tell us if we are getting close to over temping it or whatever. So you gotta wait for that. Okay, that has booted up. Let's turn on the fuel pump, see if we can get some fuel pressure. I'll turn on fuel boost. Fuel pressure here. So we got good pressure there. And I'm gonna set you down so I can have both hands in case I've got to hurry up and shut it down or whatever. So let's see how this goes. So my fuel valve is on. I'm sure we got air in the fuel line. I'm sure we do. Let's let our fuel pump run for a little bit. I may have to eventually leave it on, but I like to have it off so I can hear everything else, because that fuel pump's kind of loud. So let's try this again. Igniter's on. Introducing fuel. There we go. I think it's going to go this time. Watching my ITT. Make sure I don't over tamp anything. This should level out. Alright, we got a good start. We just had air in the line. That's kind of what I expected, but generator on. I think we're going to let it run for a while. I'm going to power on that. Welcome iPad. We're getting messages up there. I just connected my light bar.
Nice.
Go to map. I don't have a job to do yet. That's pretty cool.
It is.
So I should eventually get my background satellite image. We'll let it run for a while and just make sure there's no air in the system.
There was, you know, smoke too. That's
oh yeah.
Probably because
100% expected the smoke.
Yeah.
So.
Sounds great.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's kind of weird you're not taking off with it, because usually when you get to this point, you're like, okay, I'm going.
Let's go. I see I got a leak down there on that.
Oh, that's the new one, right?
These are both new.
Yeah.
So I gotta figure out where it's coming from.
Oh, yeah.
I don't really feel anything, but oh, it's overfilled. It's coming out of there.
There you go.
Filled it
Do you need something to wipe that off?
Yeah.
Can't help himself. He has to go taxi around at least. I'll tell you what, there's nothing like the smell of Jet A, no matter what time of day it is. And he's back. Just taxied around. Thanks for the smoke show.
Alright, the first thing I want to do, so here's my old center section. This is a pressure line, boom pressure that goes to the pressure gauge up in the cab. I'll have to convert that over and put that on somewhere. But the first thing I want to put on here, these are the connections that connect the center section to the bottom of the airplane. So I was kind of concerned because this one looked narrower, and I wasn't sure I was going to be able to get enough width, but I went up over there and measured them, and it appears they're 38.5 inches apart, and it looks like I've got at least 39.5, and that's, you know, that's a crude measurement because I'm trying to measure over top of that valve, but it looks like I should just barely make it. So I'm gonna get some wrenches and take these apart. I'll probably just loosely put them clear out as far as I can go, and then I'll take it over the airplane and see what we come up with. Well, let's go see if this fits. I'm just gonna ride my scooter. A lot of grunting and groaning going on. Are we even close? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Wow. Whoops, I kicked you guys. Sorry about that. There it is. All I gotta do is tighten everything up. I'm happy with that. Get up here. If it looks like it's not level, keep in mind that when this airplane is flying, the tail's gonna come up. So this is gonna come up and level out. That's why it looks like it's at an angle to start with. So there's one of the keys. I actually could probably just put some safety wire on there. That's probably what I'll do. But yeah, very happy, making progress. Thanks for your help, guys. Appreciate it. So this is my pressure line. Got to get it off of here. And then I got to figure out how to get it mounted on the other one, because the other one has bigger, let's see, 1/4 inch female on it. This one had 1/8 inch male, so I'm gonna have to do some finagling here. Good old finagling. Reducer bushing or something I need, but I'll figure that out here a little bit and get the parts ordered that I need, and we get that hooked up. So there's that. That should be the last thing I need off there. That's the size that was on this boom, but this is the size on the other boom. That's the bigger, and obviously I'll have to put thread sealant on there, but yeah, if I could get that spun and turned down, do that. Here's where it's going. See it or not? There's a connection right there. All right, so I had ordered some parts a couple days ago, and I got a couple packages here. Let's see what we have. Hopefully that's the right size. Supposed to be 1.5 inches. Why does that look so small? I don't know. Let's see. It's probably the right size. Nope, it's not. That's a bummer. All right, so a couple of those parts will be going back, and I got the new ones ordered. So let's see if I messed this part up too. I did not. So these are good, and basically all these are is reducer bushings. What it's going to allow me to do is put my pressure switch in. My pressure switch has 1/8 inch thread, so this will end up going down here somewhere. Then I can hook my wires to it. Hey, I got something right. So, and I measured come down here up to the top over there. I might put a cross brace in here just to make this a little bit more solid. Okay, I'm gonna put my pressure switch right here, simply for the fact that I'm gonna have wires coming up off of it, and I got wires coming out of here. I'm gonna be able to run those wires together and not have a set of wires coming up here and another set of wires coming up over there. So anyway, right or wrong, I'm not sure. That's what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna put some threads. Jeez Louise. Wow, that come flying out of there fast. Rookies. Anyway, all right. There goes nothing. That should be good for the pressure switch. Hey guys, so this is the next day. So I got the correct parts now. So, and I'm putting stainless steel on here. So this is the flow control valve. This is the flow meter, so it knows how much flow is going through, your gallons per acre. That piece is gonna go there. And this one, of course, they took that down to 1.5 inches. Had to get a reducer bushing to be able to go to that. So that is the contraption that needs to hang under the airplane. I at least now have the correct parts. I had inadvertently ordered 1.5 inch hose barb instead of 2 inch. So I reordered them yesterday, and luckily McMaster Car, where I get this specialty stuff, is in Illinois, the next state over. So I can order them. I mean, it was 4 o'clock yesterday afternoon. I ordered them and they were here today. So, and that's regular ground shipping. So the other ones are on the way back. They'll credit our account. I've got all kinds of fun stuff here. I got to get that's your bypass switch for the right boom shutoff. That's a light that tells you when the right boom shutoff is active. Circuit breaker, ground wire, and then this wire comes up off of the valve up to the block. I don't think I can throw these directions to the wind. I think I'm gonna have to probably actually use these. So then I'll get it all installed, and then of course I got to have my mechanic look it over, inspect everything, and then so he can sign it off. And I made this little kit, this plumbing kit, pretty much everything I need. I will put what the company had recommended was this, and I've never used it before, but they recommended this Loctite thread sealant. So we're gonna give that a try. They should know, they've been doing this a lot longer than I have. So so that will eventually be in the kit as well. So when my spray booms get here, these are my old ones. For what we do, 2 gallon work, we plug every other hole because we don't need it. We can get, you know, up to 5 gallons an acre with this setup. When you're ordering new booms, even though I don't need those extra holes, I want them there just in case, whatever, we get into a situation, maybe in a different state or whatever, where we're doing liquid fertilizer and you got to go up to 20, 30 gallons an acre, whatever. You at least have the option. But for us, for right now, you know, we'll have to plug every other one. Kind of not a lot to show. I don't have the regular booms. I'm just trying to get stuff wired on here. I did put the pressure switch on here yesterday. I'll bring the wires down. I've got them zip tied up inside here. I got to figure out where I'm coming through here. This wire will go up into the fuselage. The other wires will come down here. Flow control, that contraption I just showed you, will be hanging up there somewhere. Then I did get another battery box for this camper. It only came with 1 battery, but we ordered another box. which looks like it's too wide. Maybe that one can go over. I don't know. Nothing ever seems to work right. Imagine that. Okay. More drama. All right, we'll catch you guys later. All right, so I got something a little bit different here to show you guys. Last year when I was flying, I had an issue with the right side fuel tank would not drain as fast as the left. I replaced gaskets on the caps. That did not help. So I'm going to drain both tanks, and then there's a what they call a header tank down in the center where both tanks flow into. And then there's screens. I'll have to check, but they must be up in here somewhere. There's two different ports, or I don't know, where the fuel comes out of the tank. Here's the front and the back. So I'll have to make some calls and check with some people. But anyway, drain in the tanks to check all the screens and make sure everything's clear. That's what I'm wondering now, is if maybe the screens on this side are partially plugged, not letting the fuel flow quite as fast as the other side. So that obviously is an issue. So we're gonna pull them hoses off, check screens both sides, and we'll see, maybe even replace the hoses. Maybe I can see in the logbook how old they are. I'm guessing they were replaced when this thing was rebuilt a couple years ago, so it's probably not necessary. But I'll look through the logbook and see what I can find, or see if I can find a date on those hoses. Just another oddball project going on.
What you doing?
Well, I'm draining the center tank out now. The header tank. Oh my goodness, you're videoing. Why is there always video evidence of everything that I do?
Because you looked cute laying underneath the airplane.
I look cute? Wow. Well, thanks.
Fun, fun.
I do see that I need to get a creeper and clean the belly of the beast.
Oh boy.
So
Top looks nice, but
yeah. What happens when you get under your airplane, then you see how dirty it is underneath.
gotcha.
And you can see.
Oh yeah.
There. It all needs cleaned up.
Yeah.
So what we found is the left fuel tank had two fittings that did not have the strainers in them. The right fuel tank did. So that would explain why the left fuel tank was draining quicker than the right. So we ordered all new parts and got it all replaced, so everything should be flowing even now. All right, we are trying to do the electrical on the right boom shut off, which does exactly as the name implies. It shuts off your right boom. So this valve would close and shut off flow to this side over here, which made me just realize that I need to put my pressure switch on the other side, because if this is off, that's not going to have pressure and it's not going to record that I'm spraying. So get to redo that, which is no big deal. But I've got plenty of wire here, and yeah, I could run it up into the fuselage, but I want this connector out here. You can see I can just pop this off real quick. When I take the spray system off to put the dry spreader on to do cover crop work, I need those connections to be out here and quick. Anyway, I got to look this over a little bit and maybe check with some peeps. Okay, that was pretty quick. We got that pressure switch moved over here, which makes more sense to me because we'll run the wires up there and in this side, which when I pull this off and go to dry, I then have to put those wires on the handle that goes up and down and operates the gate. So It's better that it's on this side anyway versus that side. Good thing in explaining that to you what it was and what this did, that it dawned on me that I didn't want that pressure switch over there, because if I'm doing the edge of a field and I've got the right boom shut off, then obviously that's going to tell the computer it's not going to have pressure, and it's going to tell the computer that I'm not spraying, which is not true. I would be spraying. I just would only be spraying half a width. All right, so what I just did was pretty boring, but on that panel over there, you see the 2 amp circuit breaker with no label above it. That was a 5 amp that was labeled GPS, and there was nothing hooked to it. So I took the 5 amp out, put the 2 amp in, and we'll have to relabel it for my right boom shut off. Wire for that is coming out here, which will eventually come over to the block. So we're making progress. We'll see if we can get this done today or not, but at least get the right boom shut off done, and then I can get working on the monstrosity that needs to be mounted underneath there. And it is pretty heavy. I'm going to guess that at 10 pounds. So I got to be pretty strategic in where I locate that so that I can go up above and hook to something very solid to help support this. That'll be next on the list, and then that's got its own wiring and all that needs to happen. But boy, this place is a mess. I'll see here what we got going next. Probably need to find a good spot to ground and at least get those 2 wires hooked into the block. But I'll have to look at the instructions here first and make sure I'm putting them in the right place. Just trying to get all the wires run neat and orderly. So just trying to get that worked back here, and then that'll come in the top side of the block. I'll have positive, negative, and then positive this side. The wires coming up from the valve will end up going to the bottom side of this, and then my on-off switch, my indicator light, power in, ground, all go to the top side. So I have an indicator light. It'll tell me, it'll light up when my right boom shut off is activated and it's off. That way it's a visual indicator in here that, hey, don't forget at the end of that pass, when you get it done, you need to turn it back on, probably, more than likely. There's a switch with some Christmas wires on it and an indicator light. So I need to get those mounted and get these wires down to that block that you just saw me working on. Just got to figure out where I'm going to put these switches. So, I mean, I've got room. Mounted the switch and the indicator light. So now I just got wires to run back through like I did with the other and get it out there to that wiring block or whatever you call it. So had to go outside and look at the big eclipse. We're only at about 80% here in Iowa, so not a big deal. Looked at it through a welding helmet, but hoorah. Got the wires. I'll have to zip tie all that down. So I got this one up, ran through and up, and coming out near the block. So need to get this cut back, wires stripped. These will go on this side of the block, and then I'll have the correct colors, and then I'll be easier to put these on. Anyway, yeah, I could put those on, but I'm gonna go ahead and put these on now just because. So I've got all the wires in. I've got power turned on. So if I flip this switch on, you should be able to hear that valve turn, which would turn off the right boom, and that light should come on. Looks like it's working. Then all I gotta do is get some labels here. Oh, it looks like we're out of fuel. Had the mechanic working on some fittings underneath, so that's all complete. That job's done. So all I gotta do is zip tie everything into place, which you guys don't need to see that. So the right boom shut off project is complete.